Hi guys, you're welcome. You're welcome. Submit, please. Yeah, today my name is Blemsy. You're welcome. Hello everyone. Welcome to our live stream. My live stream. You're welcome. Once again, you're welcome. I am Blemsy Welchers by the name, and today we are diving into a topic that is as important as horror. That's as important as horror. The dark truth about colonization in Africa and Asia over the next hour. So we all explore how deep the damage of colonialism goes, why some of these critical truths remain absent from our textbook, and what this omission means for our understanding of the world history. All right. So before we begin, I invite you all to share while watching and also what you already know about colonial history in the live chat. Let's create an open dialogue as we explore the issue together. Beautiful, isn't it? All right, now let me start by taking you back in time, a time of exploration and enormous human cost. Picture the bustling part of colonial empire. Let's just picture that in our mind. The march of armies, unknown land, the lives irreversibly change on both sides of the divides. The narrative we learn in school only scratches the surface. The surface. Hmm. So how deep does this damage really goes? Let us take a minute and just reflect on that for a while. You know. Now, in Africa and Asia as a whole, colonial power imposed systems that rip apart cultural identity and economics. In Africa, the arbitrary drawing of borders disregard landscape, leading to conflict that resonate day. To this day, can you imagine? In Asia, colonial ruler extracted wealth, restructured societies, and set emotional and set motion economic policies that still affect development. Hmm? Imagine local leaders and communities standing up against an overwhelming tide of foreign power. Stories of resistance upon resistance, losses and survivor that aren't highlighting in your textbook. One such story is of a specific example, such as the resistance movement in India or the struggle in Congolese territories. Rather. This narrative is a vivid reminder of the price paid for wealth and advancement in colonial centers. Now, what are your thoughts? Oh shit, I want to know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Have you come across stories of resistance and resilience that mainstream history classes often overlook? Please drop your comments and share your perspective. Let us brainstorm together. I see some insightful comments already coming up. You know, I want to see and I want to see more. The better we can address this legacy today, I completely agree, is vital to our knowledge, the complexity of colonial history, to understand how current socio-economical challenges in this region are linked to that past. I want to see more comments, more questions. I want to see more. Let's switch gear for a moment. Why are these critical components of our history still ignored in many textbooks? Despite overwhelming evidence and documented testimony that the colonial narrative that is widely thought is often sanitized. The dark truths, the exploitation, the violence, the cultural devastation are frequently left out or glossed over. That's serious. This omission isn't accidental. It is the product of hmm, historical revision and desire to present a more palatable narrative. So I asked you, how can we reconcile this sanitized history with the raw, painful truth experienced by millions? Now, I want to still ask you personally, do you think our education system does enough to cover the full scope of colonial impacts? Let me know your thoughts in this chat. Now, how deep does the damage go? That is another question we should ask ourselves. How deep does this damage go? You know, how deep does this damage really goes? In many parts of Africa and Asia, the consequences of colonial politics are still visible today. Economically, the extraction and exploitation of resources set patterns that contribute to long-term underdevelopment socially. The fragmentation of society, can you see, of society and imposition of foreign culture led to enduring strife, identity crisis. This repercussion extend to politics, where state boundaries drew with little regard for local realities and fueled conflicts that persist decades later. That is serious. And that is the reality of the thing that is going on today in our world. Now, take for instance the economic legacy of colonial rule. Many post-colonial states today struggle with dependency on the global markets, legacy of economic built not for local well-being but for the benefit of distant imperial power. It's a thing that we can see that is happening in our world today. It is not hidden. No, it is not hidden. It is never hidden. It's not. We can all see. It's not. These are not abstract concepts. They are lived reality that continue to affect millions of people. I did love to hear from you what personal story or insight you do have regarding how colonial history still impact communities today. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you. Now, This is time for our question and answer. If you have questions, good. I would love to hear them. Let's take a few moments to answer some questions from our live chat. I know someone might be thinking, might have a question in his or her mind. I want to ask, how can we change the narrative around colonial history? And it might be someone also thinking to comment to point out the value of integrating indigenous voice into the historical record. Those are great points. Now, everyone, it is clear that inclusive education and acknowledging this hidden story can pave the way for healing and more accurate historical accounts. Keep your question coming. Yes, keep them coming. I'm reading everyone. I am going to be reading everyone's question, and I'll make sure I provide an answer too. Now, as we near the end of today's session, it is important to reflect on the overreacting message. Knowledge is power. By uncovering and understanding the full, unfiltered truth about colonialism in Africa and Asia, we empower ourselves and our communities to advocate for a more just future. This historical reckoning isn't about assigning blame, it's about understanding the roots of our present day challenges and working together towards reconciling and growth. Now, this is a strong message, strong closing message that I want to put across. To wrap up, the dark truth of colonialism run deep, affecting economic development, cultural identity, political boundary to this very day. And as long as textbook omit this crucial narrative, the historical wound remain partially hidden, hindering our ability to heal and move forward. I urge you all to continue this conversation. Ask questions. I want to see your questions. I want to see your questions. Ask questions. Read widely. Speak up for an inclusive, honest account of our shared history. Remember, our past hold the key to solving our present challenges. Thank you all for joining me on this critical journey today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell if you found value in our discussion. And please, once again, share your insights in the comments. Your voice matter in rewriting the narrative. Stay informed, stay engaged. I look forward to hear the questions and the story we are all being told. Thank you once again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.